Welcome back to the shop today, guys. I dug out this old toolbox. Is it a toolbox? Or is it my new CNC electronics enclosure box? See if this works. Now, electronic enclosures, conduit boxes, control panel boxes, I don't know what you want to call them. Stuff where you put electrical stuff inside to keep it dust-free, water-free, safe. They're expensive, boys. I think some of the cheaper ones that I found that would be the right size that I'd be looking for, which would be in that 16 by 16 to 24 by 24 range. They were somewhere around like the $70, $80 mark. I wasn't ready to spend that on a sheet metal box. And so I dug this out from underneath my table. I've had this one for quite some time. It's been sitting for a long time. I should probably clean out the inside too. But I haven't used this toolbox in a very, very long time, and I haven't really had a need for it. I do a lot of my work here in-house, and I don't really travel much with my tools, so why not? I have another little small one if I need to pack up and go, and I have another one tucked away in the back corner. So I have enough toolboxes. And I was like, I just started laying things out a little bit in here, and I was just like, I already have this. This is way cheaper. So I'm going to try using this toolbox. Drill some holes in it, mount some stuff. And to be honest, I bet you could get a toolbox about this size for probably $20-$30. You could even get a plastic one if a guy really wanted to. And I looked into that. And as I was looking for different types of containers, I was looking at Tupperware containers. I was looking at storage bins, ammo boxes, you name it. I was looking for a cheap way out of this predicament. But then once I started thinking about toolboxes, I have a toolbox. I'm going to use a toolbox. So I'm going to try making this work. Now, I might run out of a little bit of room, but there's also some things that I might give some wire extensions and mount in here. But we'll see how it goes. I have no idea what I'm doing with this stuff, so this will be a step-by-step for me. And don't expect some video about me explaining to you guys how to wire up a CNC and pretending to know what I'm doing, because that won't happen. I don't know what I'm doing. But if I can figure it out, y'all can too. So I'm going to maybe mess around with some mounting ideas and locations. We'll see if we can get some of this mounted in here. All right, so it's the next day. It's another early one. It's like 7:30 right now. And so I kind of switched gears a little bit. I stopped working on my enclosure box, and I just kind of hot wired a system up here. Just wanted to make sure that I was somewhat on the right track, and it looks like I am once I finally found some instructions that were not written in Chinese. Apparently there's not a lot going around about this controller board. This is a USB Mach 3 5-axis board. They're relatively affordable. I like that board. It was a cheap alternative to still have a USB control, not parallel port. But there's just not a lot of information out there. So I just kind of hot wired it up, and following some instructions, I got Mach 3 jog loaded here. And she does work, boys. I mean, the motors need tuning, and everything needs to be, sped up and tuned up and stuff. But you know what? She works. And so that's all that matters right now. But now I have my wiring kind of going here. I'm going to get back to my enclosure box, get that done. And once that's done, then I can start routing wires through all this thing. And who knows, maybe by the end of this video, I'll have this thing moving under its own power. We'll see. Stick with me here, boys. All right, so half the day has passed, which means, you get nothing done. I've kind of made a mess here. I've made a big mess here. And this is what I've got so far. So this is kind of what I ended up with. I got all my drivers mounted, my power supplies mounted. I started wiring them in. I got holes here for all my plugs. We're using like a aviation style plug. I think that's what they're called. I don't know. They're these fancy doohickeys that I don't really understand how I'm supposed to get them together, but we'll make it work. I got 5 of those, and I made this plate. It doesn't look like anything fancy, but I had a piece that just fit so cherry I could not use it. And so that's going to go up there like that, up and away from everything. Wires from that board are going to travel down into everything else. And I got a hole drilled for that too, so I can put my USB plug on there. Won't be the prettiest, boys, but she'll work. Hopefully it'll work. But I'm going to start wiring this all up, and then we'll come back later and see how she looks in the end. Okay, so I've done some wiring, or tried to. This is what I ended up with, guys. Doesn't look too bad for a guy like me doing it. A little bit of a rat nest under there, but we'll just pretend we didn't see that. And I got my plugs wired in on the side. I actually need to put more in there. I don't have any plugs or anything for limit switches at this time. I got to put those all on, and I got to wire them in. But I'll do that a little bit later. Right now, I'm just trying to get this thing to the point where I can operate the machine. I have done some wiring on here already. Ran some wires. I'm just going through the gantry tube with these ones. Kind of got, just some wire laid out. And I got to put the other ends of those aviation plugs onto these wires. Once I have them cut the length, then I can hook them up to this box. And technically, I can make stuff move. Now, it won't be, nothing's tuned, nothing's, none of that. I'm just wanting to get this thing to move on its own. So I am going to get the rest of the table wired, or at least, again, just the motors wired, so that way I can see some stuff, move around, really get a guy amped. And we'll go from there. So I'll be back with another update shortly, guys. Well, guys, I think I got her licked here. We got everything wired up. Everything is to my box. We got these fancy plugs all hooked up. I got this all running. Everything's got lights showing, so I think that's a good sign. And check this out. It moves. It moves. This is very exciting for me. I actually made something move with a computer. That's big. That's big. And I didn't start the shop on fire, so even better. I did have to cheat. I had to wire my Y and my A axis together using the same outputs from the controller board. There is a way to slave axes, so you can have 2 motors running off of different outputs to operate the same. Does that make sense? Maybe. I don't know. I'm just making this up. But for some reason, I couldn't get that board to do that. So I just hot wired them together, and now they're acting off of one output. Other guys have done it. So I'm just going to run with that for now. But I got it moving, so I'm really excited for that. And this is a big, big step, boys. Yeah, I'm actually at a loss for words. I'm just pumped I made this thing move. I got to do a lot of motor tuning. I still have to put limit switches in, homing switches, dial everything in, but that'll come later. This was the fun stuff. Now I got to actually sit down at a computer and learn how to tune this thing. But I'm going to probably work on the plasma in our next video, get that triggered up. We'll pull the cover off of that guy and see what we can make work. But this is huge. I'm really excited. The fact that it moves is awesome. Very exciting. So anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I really appreciate it. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below. I'll get to as many as I can. And yeah, thanks for stopping by, guys. See ya.